I'm here from Experiences in Channeling, and I'm just coming on to talk and ramble about life in the universe and everything in between. The reason I've been coming on recently, live recently, is because I've been kind of questioning, like, what am I doing here? And started wondering, like, am I just coming on and am I just complaining about, spiritual attacks or these sorts of things? And, what am I doing here is when I started questioning myself. But then I started realizing well, I don't know what it is I'm doing exactly, but I do enjoy coming on here and talking to all of you. And I think it really helps me somehow. It makes me feel good somehow. So it's interesting. It's almost like a sort of therapy for me to come on and talk about the things that I'm doing or that I'm going through. And so I think what I kind of realized is that possibly what I'm going through is I'm not the only person going through all of these things. And so hearing another person who's going through these things and their perspective is helpful. So I'm assuming that's what the case is. So with a bit of hesitation, I've decided to come on today and do another ramble. So nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. And what I want to talk about today, and what I want to ramble about, is about different types of personalities. And I think that was the only thing, and everything else will kind of come out in the wash. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was just I've been going through a lot of realization this year. In fact, it just started maybe last year, I think was the beginning, but it just many of you have probably maybe have had similar experiences where you kind of wonder, like, why there's always the same sort of people around you in your life. Like, you always, this type of friend is the friend that kind of approaches you or comes to you, especially if you're kind of a hermit like me. I don't really go out very much. And, I'm not like a big social, what is it called? Butterfly, as you can probably tell. But, but then usually just the same sort of people come up in my life. And I always get burned by them in the end too. And I always wonder, well, what's going on? Why is it always the same exact pattern going on over and over again? And I wondered about it, but I had no idea what it was. I don't know. It's something's happening. I don't know what it is. And, for example, you take the Course in Miracles idea that everything is a mirror. The whole universe is a mirror for you. And so maybe they're just mirroring something that's inside of me. And yeah, that's good, but still doesn't really help me to figure out what the heck's going on. Oh, hey there. Hey there, no one. But their handle is no one. I'm sorry. That's about, hey there, no one. So I realized that I was having these people in my life, and then I started watching a whole bunch of videos about, I don't want to use the word here because I think the word has too much of a stigma to it, but it's a psychological term that starts with an N. And but what it describes is people who are trapped in a dark mirror. They were trapped ever since they were younger because of some traumatic experience or other, and they are trapped in a different time. They're not living in the present, and so they have to take control of every situation in order to make it conform to the mirror. This is the way I heard it described, and I liked it. The dark mirror. They have to make every situation like that mirror. And so if they can find someone like me who is very trusting and open and kind of simple-minded, I guess, they're like, great, because then they can project that whole world onto you and make you a part of it. And they need from you, that attention, and whatever form that comes from, like guilt or fear or whatever it is, they just need it from you, and that feeds them because they can't survive without it because they're not out in the world. And so, but I realized, like, oh, I'm actually surrounded by many of these people, and I'm like a magnet. I'm like a target for these people. And so I try it out. So there's a technique called mirroring. It's all about mirrors. There's a technique called mirroring where when they're trying to project out their world onto you and create you into something that you're not, you just turn everything they say against them. Not turn it against them, but repeat it back to them, as if that's them. So either you're just projecting it back or returning the projection. And it's not a good technique. You're not supposed to do this. But what happened with me is that it was quite a shock, like, to realize this and to realize all these people that have been in my life or sometimes in my life, are doing this. And it was just too shocking. It was just like, I can't believe I'm such a fool, and I've been, like, been fooled for so long, and they know what they're doing, and I didn't understand it. They talk a lot about the idea. The psychologists will talk a lot about the ideas. Relationship. How to know where your relationship is if someone does something to you, you question, would you ever do that to them? And that's kind of how you know where you're at. So yeah. Would you do the same thing that someone is doing to you to them? And most of the time, at least for no way. So that's a good kind of barometer, whether or not you're in one of these relationships. But that's not the only one, though. And that's why I don't want to use, like, because they have these words and the terms. It's like the term autistic, and, like, everyone's autistic these days, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just, if you're a little bit different, you're on the spectrum. And it's just a word, but it's a stigmatized word. And I think it's probably better to speak it in more of a broader sense rather than that, like, pinning it down to a word. And so I tried this mirroring technique because I was just so upset. And I was like, I know exactly what you're doing. I know what you're trying to get from me. And I was angry. And so I mirrored back. I was very strongly mirroring back everything. And they exploded. Like, they threw something right at me. Fortunately, it was a cheese shaker. But still, I mean, it was just, they exploded. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a dangerous technique to use. I'll try not to use it anymore. And in fact, because it doesn't cause happiness, it just causes, it causes anger. But so I was realizing this. And then the second realization after this was that, and this is something that I didn't really find much them talking about, but the reason that, for example, someone like me would be attracting these people is maybe there's something about them, they're similar. Maybe I'm or was trapped in a dark mirror as well. And so that was also a big kind of scary realization, like, wow, these mirrors are pretty rough. They show you everything. And I don't know how much it is for me, but I do know that, after doing the Course in Miracles and after 2019, I kind of shifted my whole way of thinking about myself. Pretty much broke down my whole life up to that point. Everything that I thought I was, everything that I thought I was supposed to be. And I just let go of it all. And I started doing the Course in Miracles. And so I think I broke down a lot of stuff. And so I think I was definitely living in a different world then, that didn't exist, as most of us are. We're living in the third dimension, but we have all these expectations and ideas about everything, and that's where we're living, but it's not real. Like, what's real is you go outside, the wind's blowing, it's sunny, it might be cold, it might be warm, you never know, it might be raining. These are the things. They're simple things. These are the things that are around you that are true, and the fact that you're made of love. Everything else you're just kind of drumming up out of thin air, or you're being bombarded with on social media, but it's not real, And so, so I guess that's what they were mirroring to me. But I think, and so I'm finally realizing it, and because I guess I'm not in that world anymore, but then those people are still in my world. And so I guess, it's quite a shock, though, to realize it, like, because it was always so confusing, because these types of people are usually hot or cold. They're really nice and friendly and just, what's the word, so charismatic, or they're just evil. But I never understood that, and I always wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I still do. I mean, it's not, I understand where they're at, and I keep distance, but I still want to give everyone a benefit of the doubt. I mean, and but yeah, so that's, I guess, what I wanted to talk about, something that, and that leads me to the next thing. So I had my birthday recently. So yeah, again, guys, this is just a ramble about absolutely nothing, right? But I had my birthday recently, and when you have a birthday, or Christmas, or any kind of holiday, you have high expectations. Like for me, coming from being in America, uh, Christmas is a huge thing, and you expect a lot. You have all these expectations, and it never lives up to the expectations. Of course not. And same with birthdays. You have to, you expect so much. You have to do something special, but you don't. It's just another day. But you still, like, I still had that kind of expectation, and that's what ruins our lives. Expectations. Without these expectations, we could be happy. But we have these expectations. We have to do this. The world should look like this right now. This politician shouldn't be doing this. This person shouldn't be saying that. We're playing God, right? And when we play God, we're just going to feel sad, because the world is not going to conform to whatever it is that we want it to be. And so then we're going to get sad, and then we're going to try to escape from the world, and then it's just this endless cycle. And so expectations, I found it so important to really kind of lose your expectations. You don't need to worry about what something should look like or not look like, or what your birthday should be, or what Christmas Day should be. So in thinking all that, I was trying to think of some, but I still wanted to do something special. So I took myself out for sushi. But yeah, and I think that expectations are kind of, we walk through our lives. I mean, you think about your lives when you're walking through. You're just walking around. Maybe it's sunny again. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's raining, and that's it. That's all that's happening. And you're walking. Maybe your knee hurts, or maybe you have a headache, or whatever it is. But that's all that's happening. But then on top of that, you have all these expectations. You're not there. You're not walking. You're out somewhere else. You're out, 10 years in the future. You're out thinking about that job that you want to get. You're out thinking about these things that you want to be, or all of these different things. And it's just like, that's the path to sadness, the path to sadness. Yeah. That's how the world trips us up. But if we just kind of walk around and enjoy the little, chalk paintings made by children on the street, or the paint peeling on walls, or all these different things, just simple little pleasures, just little things that you could, I like to do lists sometimes, lists of things that I've seen, like a half-smoked cigarette crushed on the ground, do these sort of things. And you make a list of things, and it sounds silly, but it really is kind of reaffirming, reassuring. It brings you back. Another way of doing that, of course, is just, mindfulness. Like when you're walking around, just how does your head feel? How do your ears feel? How does your nose feel? All these different things. Hey, Laura. Yes, relaxing and enjoying the ordinary. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, exactly, right? That's yeah. And that brings us back, right? So we don't worry about all this stuff, The world is ending. Everything is over. The third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. It's like, who cares? Who cares? What does it matter? What does it matter if we worry about any of this stuff at this moment? It doesn't. The only thing that matters is if we're following our heart, following what makes us happy. And that's the third point that I wanted to come to. So that's what I'm doing here. I don't understand why I'm coming on to do this. Like, I feel like, and it almost seems like an egotistical thing to do. Like, I need to come on to talk, publicly otherwise. And so I don't know what it is. Yeah. But for some reason, it makes me feel good. And so I thought I'll just listen to that. Makes me feel good. Okay. And I'm not hurting anyone, I hope. And people are free to watch or not to watch. And yeah. So, and I guess like, I guess with everything that we do it because it makes us feel good, makes us feel happy. And so that's coming on like this somehow makes me feel happy. And I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I think I'm receiving some guidance on it. Just do it. So I am. And there was one other thing I wanted to share. I wanted to share. I've been doing a Tai Chi class. So, as you know, I talk a lot about spiritual um, attacks and things like that, or sensing people's energy, and sometimes energy that's not so nice. If you're in a crowded train, or if you're just walking and someone passes by you and you just kind of like shudder, like, what was that? Ouch. Um, these sorts of things. And so I've always been looking for a way of handling these things. And there's many books and there's many teachers and they're all teaching all this good stuff about it. But I've never really found like a very just down to earth, like, how do you deal with your energy? What do you do with it? You don't have to, like, not about any, higher, what are they called? Ascended masters or nothing like that. Just my energy. How do I deal with my energy? And so I always knew there was a hint in Qigong. I think you call it Qigong. In Japanese, they call it Kiko. Qigong. Yeah, Qigong. Qigong, I think. And so, but it's, I always knew there was kind of an answer to it. And I took a few classes, but the focus was more just on kind of stretching and stuff. And I really wanted to focus on, the energy and how to get the energy out. I mean, the health part is really interesting too, but I'm just really interested in the energy. So I discovered this guy on YouTube, and he was talking about, psychic attacks or spiritual attacks, or energetic attacks is another way you could say it. Maybe makes it easier to swallow, energetic attacks. And yeah, so when he was talking about it, and it sounded great, and so I started taking his class. So this is it. It's this guy. I think he's in Taiwan or Hong Kong. I'm not sure. And it's called Wisdom Tree Institute. And this guy, yeah, he's really good. He's a really good teacher too. Really, really down to earth. Very easy. Oh, there it is. No blind belief. No new age fluff. Just grounded training. So I just started taking the classes. Just taking a few of them. And what did I take? I'm taking this online Art of Chi training. And yeah, it's at wisdomtree108.com. I'm sharing it just if any of you out there are also in the same boat as I am, trying to figure out your energy, but kind of a little bit overwhelmed by all the kind of the woo-woo stuff. Like, the woo-woo stuff is great, and I'm all in it. I'm channeling and all the woo-woo stuff. But with this kind of stuff, it's very practical. I mean, it's like, I'm getting attacked. I want to know how to protect myself. And so I've been looking at all kinds of different ways. I was looking into, what's the word? Not revival. Oh, what the heck is the word for that now? Man, I can't speak English, can't speak Japanese. This is what happens when you're... what is it? Well, it's prayers that are used by Christians to protect themselves. Deliverance, that's the word. And I was working with them, and they're pretty workable. They work because you're using your will, and you're using your words. Your words are very powerful. What's the word? The Japanese word kotodama. Your words have an energetic power to them. And so anyway, so I've been doing all kinds of different things, and so I do say prayers. So every time I do get an attack, I do a prayer to kind of break it off. And but I'm always looking for new techniques, and mindfulness is good. So you get aware of your whole body and feel what's off. Like, I often get something here, like, oh, something's here. What's going on here? And then I can look into that and figure out what's going on. But yeah, so this guy's really good for that. And so it just talks about creating the chi ball, or QI ball, like where you often see the guys doing this. And it's like the Japanese Dragon Ball. I don't know if you guys are probably everyone's familiar with it. I'm probably the only one that wasn't super, but yeah, Dragon Ball, Kamehameha, so just using your natural energy. And I'm really open to more kind of down to earth, practical ways of doing these things, because it is a practical thing. I mean, like, we're energy, we're made of love, we're a soul in this body, and so we might as well figure out how it works, And I've been really into Chinese medicine. I go to my acupuncturist at least once a month for maintenance, and I find it's very, very helpful. I haven't been to a doctor in a long time. Um, knock on wood. uh, but yeah. And so, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. The last thing I want to share is just a silly thing that. So when I went to the acupuncturist, um, she did something on the top of my head. This is called the hyaku-e, and that's the point where all of the chi enters your body. And whenever you have, like in the summer, people have problems with heat. You have there's three portions of your body: the upper, middle, and and so this part and the middle part of your body and the lower part. And if there's a different temperature to those parts, your body doesn't work properly, and that's often one of the causes of a lot of problems or diseases. And so, but they'll do this to kind of release some of the pressure and some of the tension. And so she put a needle in the top of my head. And then she was explaining. She said that when in China there is this ego, IGO. Ego is it's like chess. It's like, I'm not sure if it's originally from China or originally from Japan. I don't know. I've never played it. But it's like chess, but like 5D chess. It's much, much more complicated. And I don't understand it. It's like chess and checkers, but it blows your mind. And so it's a very, very cerebral game. But anyway, there was a big tournament in China, and one of the guys had a needle in the top of his head when he was playing, and he was disqualified because it was considered doping. Because that's like, when you do this, it actually improves the circulation of your brain, the blood flow in your brain, and so you can think better and you have more ideas. And she was saying that when she was graduating from the Chinese medicine school, some of the students actually had they had needles in their head when they're studying in order to, so they can pass the test. So anyway, that's my ramble today. It's really not about anything special. Not sure if I'm gonna channel now. Yeah, I might as well. I'll just do a short channeling too, just to wrap everything up. See if they have anything else to add. So here we go. Channeling, channeling. So I close my eyes and I allow beings of light and love to come in, and I do that by keeping my energy at a level, at a kind of a higher level. So anyway, so I'm just going to call them in. Here we go. Greetings, we are Mary Magdalene. And this being truly loves to talk, doesn't he? And you would assume that he's a very talkative person, but he's actually very quiet. He's quite a shy and quiet person. And this is one of the reasons we would say that he enjoys coming on here, because it is a place for him to express all of the ideas that he's not able to express in his everyday life. And what we would say to all of you is that it's really important for all of you to express yourselves. Many of you are holding on to a lot. You're holding on to a lot of things that aren't necessary for you to hold on to anymore. And so it's important for all of you to find a pressure valve, just as this being has, a place where you can put out all of your ideas, all of the things that are running around in your mind, all of the emotions that you don't quite understand, a place for you to let go. And this is what we want to bring forward today. For all of you listening in, we see you and we understand you, and we see that there are so many things that it is difficult for you to express in your everyday lives, especially now in this extremely polarized times. And what we would say to you is that it's important to have that pressure valve, and it's also important more and more now to be more honest with yourself and with people around you. Even though you're in a polarized environment, even though you assume many people around you would be shocked at what you are actually thinking, or whether or not you are talking with angels or talking with mermaids, as this being is doing, you'd be surprised at how many people would not be shocked, and at how far the world has come in opening its mind up to the spirit. And so this is something we'd bring forward to you. try to be more honest in your life, and you'll find that things will move much, much more smoothly. All right. So there you go, guys. Yeah. Poof. Mary Magdalene. Yeah. All right. Thinks I'm a chatterbox. So, all right, guys. So I hope you guys are hopeful, and thanks, No One and Laura, for joining in. And yeah, ciao for now.